Hey, what is up everyone? It's Rich. Alright, welcome to the video. So today what we're going to do is we're going to look at Appleseed by SHIROW MASAMUNE. And it is awesome. I actually just looked through this and was not disappointed, and I seriously doubt you will be too. Or you will not be, will be. So one thing that I didn't realize is that this was done after Ghost in the Shell. Because I discovered it the opposite way, meaning that I discovered Ghost in the Shell first and then Appleseed. I always thought that Appleseed was like some older book that he had done before it. But now he did follow up with another Ghost in the Shell book that may have come after it. So it might be like a little sandwich. Like you've got original Ghost in the Shell, Appleseed, and then Ghost in the Shell 2, we'll call it. That I'm not 100% sure, just off the top of my head. But anyway, let's get into the art. This is the cover, and sort of a dystopian future, post-World War III. Really, really fun stuff. And man, there's so many kick-ass subtle things. You know, we were talking about Akira Toriyama in the last video and all the subtleties that he uses. But Shiro's the same way. There's all these little just nuances that he adds that are just, it's their personality. You know, that's the thing is, what makes art so exciting is the little subtle things that the particular artist does. Their isms, you know. So, all right, let's get to this. And wanted to look at these, right? Yeah. So this is from an earlier issue, but I thought these shots were really, really cool. So, you know, anyone when you're learning to draw, one thing that you will generally tend to be drawn to is either cool character drawings or the use of perspective. I think both are impressive and kind of things that you know you see and you go, wow, man, like it's crazy that they can make so much space, like create a sense of space on paper, you know. And man, Shiro just does it so well. He's got these nice little row of helicopters, and it is just cool. Oh, here we can go into full screen mode. He's great with cars. What's funny is when I was looking at the art going into this video, one thing that I noticed was the torque that he puts on the wheels. It was something that I noticed with his stuff a long, long time ago, and I was always impressed by it. The other thing, too, is he's really good at drawing damage. Damaged buildings, damaged cars, broken glass. He really has a great attention to detail on it. And it's something that, you know, like this right here, it's something that when you're learning to draw, you don't really, a lot of times, depending on what you draw, but if you're learning to draw, you're generally trying to learn how to draw stuff nicely. You know, you want to draw a car, you want to draw a person, you're trying to make it look attractive, and then you start telling stories with art, and all of a sudden you realize, oh man, I've got to draw a car with its hood completely ripped off, or the windshield broken, or a door, you know, flying in the air, and it creates its own like little set of problems to solve, which is kind of fun and you know can be challenging. Dents and again broken concrete can get pretty complex. What's inside of concrete in a building? Well, rebar. You know, there's this like all these little things. This is so good. All these little bits of information that you kind of need to accumulate over time. You know, to have the reels. He's great with guns too. This is such a great sequence right here. So yeah, before I broke in, it's possible that I had one trade of Appleseed, but if not, probably my first year working professionally was when I was turned on to him. I don't remember exactly. Again, the angle of the cars with the wheels is something that he's so good at, where he's able to think of the body of the car as one thing, and then the axle and the wheels are their own. They're on their own axis, and he pulls the torque on them. So like when things are turning, you'll see the body of the car will shift, but the wheels are still hugging the ground, and then sometimes they'll even bend. So really, really subtle stuff, but it's, you know, again, it's him just putting in his character. Somewhere he observed that, thought it looked cool, and then he puts it into his art, and it just makes it different than someone who traces a 3D model, and the wheels are always like lined up like this. You know, the car's driving down the street and everything is just lined up, you know, perfectly, because it's not, it really isn't, I mean, it's drawn, but it's not really drawn. You want to add that little extra oomph it up. I love this stuff. the sound effect ciphers that they use are so cool. I was funny as seeing this. I was thinking about just my own drawings and stuff like that. I rarely use speed lines anymore. So it's like one of those things where I'm like, are there circumstances where I would use speed lines? Yes, there are. But yeah, it's funny. Like back in particular, a long time ago, you'd have art and the whole background would just be speed lines. I don't see that as much, I think, anymore. This is a nice little page. It's funny because when I glanced at this, there was a part of me where I was like, are they on the beach or are they inside? It's like, it's almost difficult to tell if they're indoor or outdoor to me. I don't know why. It doesn't really matter, but it kind of feels like they're like on a patio or something. Like it looks like a hotel patio. Like you could picture palm trees in the ocean out here. I don't know if this is water. I wasn't paying attention to the other pages. Again, you see the lean of the car? And here, man, he really does it. Whew, that is so good. Boy. Really fascinating. I would love to know. Like, I wonder if he even knows where he originally saw this. Like, was it some old TV show that he was watching as a kid? And he just went like, oh, man, I love that. Look at this. This goes right back to the Akira Toriyama thing. I really do feel that way, where it's just like their vision and these choices make their work so much better than just, if this car, it would have looked fine if it was all lined up in perspective. Sorry, I'm doing this with a mouse. But you know what I mean? Like if the car was just coming through the scene at like a normal angle, it would look fine. This looks better. This looks better, man. So good. Even this shot, like you can feel the car is oops, sorry. The car is leaning, you know. There's a double page spread in here that is so amazing. It's just a beautiful, beautiful shot. This is a great sequence too. This gray really picks up a lot of the slack of not empty background, but it gives these scenes mood. Watch, I'll remove the gray here, and you'll see it'll look a little pixely. But let me grab it one more time. I'm gonna zoom in and just pick a gray pixel. Grab something kind of dark. Yeah, there we go. But, you know, this is still a nice drawing in black and white, but, man, that gray, it just looks so much more warm, you know. Oh, this is great. Look at this shot. The dented hood, there you go. So hopefully everyone had a good week. Got to work on their art a little bit. Read some good comics. Watched some good shows. What did you do? What did you do this week? I learned a new pouch from watching one of my videos or making one of my videos. I learned other things too, to be honest. But yeah, you know, when I do these videos, I slowly acquire new information, put it in my little toolbox, my mental toolbox. But that's, you know, you will do that over years, you know. Once you have a decent foundation and in particular you're aware of what you are capable of and what you do and what you would do in a certain circumstance, you know, then it's even easier to pick up new ideas because you go, oh, you know what, I totally would have drawn this like this, and then you see someone else do it and you go, okay, that's actually, next time I have to do that, I can consider that type of an idea, you know. So it all kind of compounds on itself, which is nice. Oh, look at that. Woo! Again, this dude is the master of destroyed shit. That is so cool. That looks fun to draw, actually, because it's like you put down enough structure and then just go bananas with like the crumblage. Oh, looks fun. And again, that gray just really makes it look warm and gives it a nice depth and sort of sexy vibe. This too, you know, with a white sky and white buildings, it would just totally lose this effect. Son of a bitch. The reactor containment fields fluctuating. Damn. The flux capacitor. Oh, that's so cool. Ooh, this is nice. Tight little quarters that they're fighting in. What, and it's neat too is like I like the way that he directed the fight scene in terms of you know, fight scenes are tricky. You've got characters really kind of on top of each other. They crisscross, and there's, you know, cause and effect with things, and man, he does it well. Oh, it's cool. This is cool too. Their boots are awesome. That's so cool. Oh, this is nice too. I love the cop bikes, and then this is just great. It really feels like this guy's about to step on the gas and just leave these dudes in the dust. Oh, look at that. That is so cool. This is giving me like Road Rash vibes. I was a big fan of like Road Rash, the motorcycle racing game. It was fun. Even some car racing games are pretty fun too. Miss those days. The good old days when times were simpler. Now I want to play a racing game. What was fun about racing games was the fact that you could just stick on whatever music you want, because you didn't really necessarily need to hear the game. It's kind of nice to hear the engine go, but past that, yeah, you could like just sort of zone out and just drive around different tracks or whatever. Oh man, this is cool. I was noticing when I flipped through it, I think, is this the page? No, it's not. There's another page. He draws like a line of people. I'll point it out if I spot it. But it's from this party, and each character is almost drawn in a different style. It was really weird. I was like, it's coming up in a couple. Yeah, when I scanned the panel, I was like, wow, that's really weird. It was like each character was a different style. His outfit's great. Looks like the curtain is some sort of a screen tone or zipatone, or it may even be, well, like this looks like a pattern, and then this looks like a pattern. It's nicely done, though. I mean, there's nothing wrong with it. I'm just pointing it out. This is great. And that bottom panel is the panel I was talking about. Boy, this is a beautiful page. Look at this. So yeah, so when I was looking at this bottom panel, it was funny as I went from left to right because the word balloons are here, so it kind of grabbed my attention. But she's got like a pretty decent amount of detail. He's very cartoony, which isn't that unusual for these books. But he doesn't really feel like he's exactly the same level of detail as her. She looks like she's really from a completely different style of art. It reminded me a little bit of like Todd McFarlane, Bill Sienkiewicz, you know, just some of the like almost like Dave Sim a little bit. And then this is really different too. Part of it's her lips, because she's got the villainous lips, which she's kind of acting like a villain. And then this, but it was funny. But when I scanned this, I was like, well, it's like 4 different styles of art really, really quickly, all in a row. This is so great. Woo! Man, this middle panel is just really beautiful. Love the little slope right here. This is great. Really great choices of camera angle. You know, the guy's really brilliant. I mean, his artistic vision on this is just so... This is what experience looks like. When you take an experienced artist and really... They've done some books. They've had the stuff come out. They've had time to sort of let everything marinate and consider what they've done. Look at this. this is what you get, you know. You get someone firing on all cylinders. The work is really, really consistent. The designs are cool. The story's cool. It's like a perfect storm of creativity, skill level, experience, and vision, you know. And you just can zoom in and look at all this cool detail. And know that this is like hours and hours of work, and appreciate the hard labor. Alright. Look at this. Woo! Now, does Shiro use assistants? Does anyone know? Do all manga artists? I always ask this. It's like juggling a couple of grenades with the pins pulled. He's heading straight for a body bag. Waste of goddamn time. I don't know why I give him a southern accent, but juggling a couple of grenades took me there. You've always got this saucy farm boy in these types of. He's tough as nails, but little innocent. You know the guy. He's strong because he grew up on a farm, but he hasn't seen the world. But maybe one day he'll be a hero. 69. Really, really cool shots. Cool gear. Creepy monster. We've got some buildings. A little bit of destruction here. It's firing off some crazy looking things. Look at that. It looks like it freaking melted. This is cool. She's turned into a cat lady. Or maybe she always was. Wasn't really paying attention. Wow, that's crazy. All or nothing. This is love. Okay. Sorry for my yawn. It's pretty early in the morning. Still kind of shaking off the night. Not that I did anything that exciting, but what a tasty little booty she's got. Meow. This guy has got all the lines. Oh, these are cool. Looks fun to draw. Oh, that's really, really cool. Man, what a great shot. These guys all hopping out of this thing is really, really cool. There's quite a few little soldiers here. We've got 1, 2, 3, 4, and then 5 peeking out. It's a lot of information to squeeze in one little panel. Oh, that's cool. These like almost look like larvae crab things. Oh my god, look at this. This is nuts. That is so cool looking. Oh my god. Ugh. Fuck, man, that's so good. The gray. I'm telling you, the gray just makes it look so badass. That is so cool, too. Jeez Louise, look at that. This is so epic. Man, this needs to be a poster. I might actually print this out and put it up on my wall. That's like pretty inspiring shit. God, that is powerful. God, that is amazing. All right. This is cool too. Look at that. Bam and bam. So this is the Big Apple. All right, we should be getting towards the end here. All right, you guys have a great day. I'm going to get to work. I've got to shoot a video for Patreon right now. And then I need to draw. Point Man, Life Point, Life Drive. And if you headed over to my Instagram, I appreciate it. Thank you very much. I'll definitely post some updates today. Yesterday was I had to shoot a lot of videos, so it was a little bit of a jerky day for me. But what I'm gonna do next week is I'm because I started doing videos again, I was able to really kind of compare what it's like to draw for 12 to 13 hours a day and do videos on top of it. And what I found is it's probably better that I just shoot a lot of my videos on one day and keep drawing days as 100% drawing days. I don't tend to switch gears very well. So yeah, well, you won't notice the difference, but for me it was like I had to feel out what it was going to do. And look, it's a very relatable thing. I mean, I talk about stuff like this on Patreon, but for years when I was inking professionally, once I had the dream of wanting to learn to pencil, which again, they are very different skills, it was really, really hard to find the energy when I would get home from inking, 8 or 9 hours to have the steam to pencil, to learn to draw. And so I would constantly, not constantly, but I would think like this. I would go, once I finish this book, like if I'm inking a title, like once I finish this issue of Batman, when I have a break, I'm going to start working on my pencils again. It would never happen. But it's very relatable because I know a lot of you may work a day job right now and you really, really desperately want to come home and draw for 2 or 3 hours at night. But, you get home, you have a little dinner, and all of a sudden you're just fried. So what you have to do is you really have to just play with your scheduling and figure out when could you draw. Maybe you only practice an hour Monday through Friday at night, but on the weekends you're able to do 6 hours on Saturday and 6 hours on Sunday, that kind of thing. And you really, really just have to keep pushing and pulling your schedule till you find what works. But for me, what I find is if I do videos, I'm way higher. It's highly likely that I might not draw as much that day. It takes me hours to sort of switch gears on it. I don't know why. It just is. But as long as you acknowledge it and then work around it, you're fine. So anyway, all right, you guys have a great day, or you do the videos at the end of the day. You know what I mean? That kind of thing. So, okay, I'll talk to you guys later. Have a good one. Bye.